This is going to be a sequel to my lobby ideas video for Red Dead Online many moons ago. In that video, we touched on different lobby types that we would like to see in Red Dead Online, including, yes, hardcore lobbies as well. But I think in this video, we're going to attempt to elaborate further on exactly what we would like to see specifically when it comes to hardcore lobbies. Things that we want to see removed or disabled when it comes to players existing and PvPing and roaming around in an open world version of Red Dead Online, but more of a hardcore mode. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the minimap, this thing right here, the radar, minimap, whatever you wish to call it. In a hypothetical hardcore lobby, I think this thing should be permanently disabled. Now, what we could have instead is the compass, because a lot of people are like, well, what about just having the compass instead of the minimap or the radar? I think that's a fantastic idea. So instead of the minimap radar, we would have the compass instead. Despite the minimap radar being replaced completely by the compass in Red Dead Online in a hardcore lobby, I think that players will still be able to access the main map of the game, very similar to how we do in a regular lobby. The main big difference that I would see is no dots would ever appear from other players, whether they're just regular dark blues, pink dots, red dots. You would never ever see another player's dot unless they happen to be a member of your posse. That would still be the same as a regular lobby, light blue, similar to this color. Yeah, those dots would still appear as long as they're in your posse or persistent posse, but all the other player dots, whether it's dark blue, pink, or red, would never ever appear, even if you happen to be in the middle of a PvP battle with them, one-on-one, or up against a posse, or posse versus posse. Their dots and your dots would never appear to your rivals, making you more reliant on your eyes focused on the game. Similar to Battle Royales, right? Exactly. Like PUBG, Warzone, Fortnite, for example. It would force the player to be a lot more reliant on their Mark 1 eyeballs and keeping an eye on the rocks in the tree line and the horizon, as opposed to always having that handy-dandy minimap and those dots nearby to let you know when danger is nearby. Obviously, when you're in the hardcore lobby, that's not really a thing. You kind of are going into the hardcore lobby for the danger. So the next thing I would say is the Deadeye. I would want to see Deadeye removed. I don't think Deadeye should be a part of the hardcore lobby. That should be disabled. So there would be no Deadeye in the hardcore lobby. You'd still have your health, you'd still have your stam, but Deadeye would be completely grayed out. It would be disabled. You wouldn't be able to use Deadeye in the hardcore lobby. Another thing you would not be able to use is your ability cards. Ability cards would also be disabled. All of them. The passives, including the Deadeye ability card, obviously, would be completely disabled. You would not be able to use these ability cards once you are in the middle of a hardcore lobby, because I don't really see the point in going into a hardcore lobby if you're going to rely on things like Deadeye, ability cards, or explosive ammo. So the explosive ammos would also be disabled. So no explosive ammos, so none of this nonsense. Incendiary would be gone, as well as explosive slugs, and yes, we would also not have access to the dynamite arrows. Dynamite arrows, along with fire arrows, all this would be disabled in a hardcore lobby. You would not be able to use dynamite or fire arrows or explosive incendiary rounds of any kind in your weapons, just regular, split point, high velocity, as well as express rounds. None of that other nonsense. It would feel more quote-unquote realistic. You would still be able to use fire bottles and dynamite, but those would be like the only explosives you would have access to in a hardcore lobby. Now, the final thing I want to talk about when it comes to the hardcore lobby is the auto-aim issue. Auto-aim issue is obviously something that is a given in a lot of games these days, specifically Red Dead Online and GTA Online. where it's just so easy to aim on an enemy really quickly and shoot them. I realize it's a video game, and admittedly, I do like the auto aim feature. But the debate here that I want you all to have in the comment section is, do you think that the auto aim should be a thing in hardcore lobbies since we're disabling or removing everything else we've mentioned already? Or do you think that auto aim should also be taken out when it comes to the hardcore lobby? Or at the very least, should it be put down to aim assist, where for the most part you don't have auto aim unless it's in certain circumstances? Or do you want it just to be completely free aim in the hardcore lobbies? Now, the problem I have with it being completely free aim is the fact that this will give a significant advantage to players that like to use sniper rifles, whether it's the Carcano, rolling block, or simply a scope on one of their other weapons, like a bolt action, Springfield, or one of the repeaters. It would give a sniper obviously an advantage over a player that prefers close range as well as medium range. The hardcore lobbies would definitely be more focused on the snipers and their advantage over medium close range combatants. So that makes me wonder, should we have some sort of middle ground there where maybe there's like aim assist every now and then in certain circumstances or situations. But I'm also concerned about free aim because it's not only taken advantage of by the sniper community, but also by people that like to use shotguns as well. So it's very easy just to, run up on somebody with a shotgun if you know what you're doing and just blast them away with a shotgun without really much effort as well. I mean, that's the entire point of a shotgun, especially in close combat situation. You just basically aim in front of you, pull the trigger, and you hope like hell you actually hit something. That's the difference between shotgun rounds as opposed to repeater or rifle or pistol revolver rounds. So that's one thing that I think that we could debate. We could go back and forth on whether or not you like the idea of the hardcore lobby including the ability to auto aim or simply just an aim assist, where it's like somewhere in the middle, where in most circumstances it would be free aim unless you're like really up close and personal. Perhaps then the auto aim would kick in against other players, especially if you're already in combat against them. Maybe that's when auto aim kicks in. If it's just a random player that's passing by, you can't auto aim on them. But once you do, as long as you're up close, then yeah, you could auto aim with your pistols and any other weapons you happen to have. But for anything like medium to long distance, it would always be free aim. But that's just a topic among all these other things that I'd like to see disabled in a hardcore lobby that is up for debate and a civil discussion below in the comment section. In conclusion, I think that hardcore lobbies would be great for players who really want to actually test their PvP skills, and it would also, interestingly enough, be a place where regular players would like to venture into as well. Not just to go up against PvP players and see how good they actually are or are not good, but it would also be much more preferable for the average player that's just roaming around the map, exploring, doing collecting cells, trader cells, moonshine cells, without the risk of running into griefers that like to use the Deadeye ability cards, explosive incendiary rounds, as well as explosive ammo and arrows, all of those items, which would be non-existent in a hardcore lobby in Red Dead Online. So what would you like to see included, or better yet, not included in a hardcore lobby in the game? Feel free and let me know below in the comments section.